welcome back to my channel. I know it's been about a month since I uploaded, hopefully getting back on the back in the swing of that. So yeah, I think last video would have been finishing up the outside wall to the new build property we've done, and for the last couple days or so we've been up here. So anyone from earlier on in the channel might remember the big sandstone patio we did down there and all the refurbishment on this house. Good 11 months here. So yeah, the clients have decided they want to put a big bespoke shed building up here, and yeah, it's our job to do the base. So originally it was, as you can see by the cuts at the front here, a sloped in sort of carport section with a drain running through. So what we've just done is casted concrete in level, well, down from our line at the back, and then just done a retaining curb edge all across the front. Excuse me. So yeah, we've got these 600 by 600 slabs to lay, so that's why we staggered the first one off there. So yeah, got the new petrol mixer warming up. It is a bit cold this morning, so yeah, just letting that run around for a minute to warm up, then we'll get firing on all cylinders. So the plan is to restring that line across the front, because we've already got our perimeter line here, so, well, our height for it. So what we can do is run a full length of slabs out to where the cut is at the back, and then run a full length of slabs out here to where the cut is at the bottom. Well, we're going to leave that little section there open for access so we can wheel our barrows in. But then after that, I can literally go left to right and all the way fill it in. So the reason why we're going to get this section here done and this first is because we're going to lay a small fillet of muck through here, so when we drop the slabs down it compresses, can join it in, then that is that detail sorted, so we ain't got to get on the floor, you know, and get right underneath and fill this in. So yeah, hopefully ain't too rusty with the recording side of things, and yeah, I'll get a mix on. One more in the mixer, one out in a barrow. So just using 4:1 ratio, which is obviously 4 sand aggregates, i.e. grit sand, which we've chosen to use. I like using this for slabs, just because it seems to bond in a bit better. I'm not sure if it's just tiny aggregates in there, but yeah, and obviously 1 bucket of cement. So yeah, I'll get some SBR mixed up and we'll start laying. Understand where I'm coming from. Confused of where we stand, girl, you might be done. I want to be the name you scream when you come. You seem like you just don't care, just until you want the things I can't share. I can't take you anywhere, 'cause I won't try to control the things I can't. Great stories and bad decisions, you call for me, so I listen. You told me it's too late, that this can go nowhere, but it's never what you said. Right, so now I've laid a couple down, sort of explain the process a little bit. So obviously we start by laying out bed for the slab. See, didn't record the first one because getting the heights right is a bit fiddly. So obviously I know this ain't a full bed, but
because you have a slab before, you can almost get your muck in and then float it in. Other people use trowels or whatever. I just like to use a float because it leaves a, you know, a nice flat surface area. So you can almost float it into the bottom edge of your slab, and then if you have a string line, so you can sort of eye it in between bottom and top, thickness of the slab. You know, get all that nice and full in there. So you sort of left with something like that. Nice square edge. Obviously you want to use it a little bit high, just so there's room to compress the slab down and fill the, well, not fill the joints up, but you know, obviously we'll rake these out a little bit, but you don't want to have a big, because some people, they decide to go like that to keep their joints free so they don't ride up, but then when you come to point it in, you're left with a big hollow. So obviously if you try to keep it as good as you can when you're laying, and then it's as simple as, we had a 20mm overhang, so we used 2 of our 10mm packers to set that, squared it off the line, then obviously we've got our top string line, laying 2, and then all our packers on, and then there's no room for any expansion in the joints. I know the slab's going to have a little bit of variation, but you know, you can sort of match in, because we have got a little channel there, so where the slab might be a little bit bigger, just, you know, you can give it a little push to make sure the edges are lined up. And then if you're doing them this way, laying a full row first, just to get this outside line sorted. And obviously, like I said before, we'll be laying a full row along there next, leaving that section open for the barrows to get through. Then just use a level, not too hard, and then check that the bubble is where it's meant to be. So for reference, this is a pad for a bespoke shed, which I said earlier. So this wants to be flat and pretty level. So obviously, you know, if you're actually laying a patio, then you can sort of do your full, say you want a 10mm full, you can use something like a packer, and then obviously work it from there, i.e. lay the slab level, and then obviously it'll have that full there. But yeah, you may have noticed me on my phone, and that's because we've got some good news. So obviously primarily up here on my own today, well, quickly, obviously 2 barrow falls, the 2 mixes I did earlier, it gets me 5 slabs. Not really ideal, but luckily getting someone sent out to mix up and SBR up my slabs for me. So yeah, in the meantime, while I'm waiting, I'm going to chuck 2 more on, carry on laying, because I hopefully get that laid, well, I'll get that laid there to find out the cutters, and start laying this front through, and then firing on all cylinders once again. So yeah, guess I'll get it mixed in.
Understand where I'm coming from. Confused where we stand, girl, you might be time. I want to breathe you in like air to my life. I always
it for today. So slabs are going in quite well, quite easily. All the joints are coming up quite straight. Where there's obviously a small variation in the thickness of the packers we're using, hence why this row here I've had to get rid of the packers for the lines through here. Simply it just wasn't working, and adding up, you know, a couple mil each one would put the last one 5 mil out, which won't look good at all. So yeah, they've gone in pretty well. So yeah, gonna get some more sand up, and we'll be going again tomorrow. Right, it is another day on the patio. So just quickly knocked out all of our packers, and all the lines are still looking spot on. So obviously, just quickly excuse me, got out two gauges, got one more in the mixer, because I reckon, well, about 2 barrows lays me about 5 slabs. So obviously 3 mixes should lay me about 7.5 maybe if I'm lucky, but obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm hoping that the 3 barrows will get us 1 row. Fortunately, left that one out. Well, didn't have enough to lay that one yesterday. But yeah, so probably looking, hopefully, only gonna have maybe 4 or 5 stints mixing up. Yeah, apart from that, get some SBR mixed up and carry on. decent chunk, well 90% of the main patio area laid. Now what I'm going to do is, the client wants the water main brought up through the bottom, because the base of this patio is actually a base for a bespoke built greenhouse, which I mentioned earlier in the video. So obviously if the water main comes up, probably going to target it in this section here. So the plan will be to lay this slab in, lay this full one, or at least cut a small section out for the water pipe, and then lay these slabs back out to the entrance, because then I've got the small curb detail here to drop in, and then a small cut along this edge here to do. So yeah, I'm gonna work out what I'm gonna do, and we'll sort it out. Right, so this is where we're going to leave it on this very fine Tuesday evening, well, afternoon. So yeah, all that's left this main patio is this front slab here, back slab there, and a row of cuts down the side. So I'm going to have a talk with the client, because obviously this little section's outside the footprint. I think we're just going to cut it in, follow it on, because I've got to do something there, because I mentioned before, with the water pipe. And then not sure if that will end up getting soiled in, because like I said, there is a shed greenhouse, excuse me, going there. So yeah, I'm gonna get everything cleaned up and catch you all tomorrow.